this fine weekend that I just had. Now, we how can I put this? We were out there this weekend in tents and so forth. Um, camping as you usually do for a LARP event. Our particular site has a couple of indoor spaces that people were using to great effect because, well, I mean, it was cold as fuck this game, and a lot of people weren't necessarily as prepared for the cold as they should have been, or whatever this weekend, including myself. I wasn't really prepared either. But I don't really have a tent or anything, so I just stay in other people's places. Alright, so let me set the scene for you. It's Saturday night. Snow has been falling a long while, and it's dark, and it's cold, and the wind is strong, and I've got all my bundled up wool cloaks and stuff. I even have an extra cloak that Caspian, the guy in the gold breastplate in that picture that I showed you, here, I'll show it again just so you can see him and know exactly how big he is in comparison to me. See him there? See him? The guy in the gold breastplate right there? That's Caspian. And then me, I'm two people to his, I guess to his right, but like left on the picture. I'm there and he's there. So that I had an extra cloak that Caspian had lent me, and it's literally this giant fur thing. Like, it's literally just like a bear rug, basically, in cloak form. And I had it over me as well, because I was so cold, It was really cold. And whatever. And he saw me all shivering and stuff, and he gave me this big cloak, and it really helped. But it was so big that it would like slip down. It would like slip down my shoulders, because like he's a way bigger person than me, so his cloak was sized for him, obviously, and it like dragged on the ground and stuff. I don't know. It was fun. It was good stuff. Kept me warm. That's what I want. But so it's dark. Snow is falling, and I'm making my way back to the tent where I'm gonna be sleeping tonight. Super cold. Open the tent flap, go inside, try and get the snow off my boots before I go in. I don't want to drag any snow into the tent. And I go over to my stuff, and I touch my stuff, and it's dark, and I can't really see. I touch my bed, and like my cot, and my sleeping bag, and I touch them, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no, there's frost. There's frost on my bed. And I'm touching it. I'm like, it must have just been really cold and it like frosted over. Okay, I'll just brush it off. I brush it all off. I brush off all the frost and the cold, and I'm actually sort of starting to get worried now. Because sleeping in the cold like that, it's actually dangerous. So I'm trying to brush the snow off the cot, and I hop into the cot. I put my cloak inside my sleeping bag, wrap it around me, pull my sleeping bag up over me, close the sleeping bag, pull a blanket over me, put my hat on, and like everything up over my head and stuff. And I was like all nice and bundled up. And I'm like, okay, it's really cold outside, but I'm gonna be all right. It's nice. I've got a nice sleeping bag. It's good quality. I'll be able to sleep here. It'll be fine. And as I'm sort of closing my eyes and going like, okay, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's warm. It's gonna be fine. And I feel on my face the cold dabbles of snow falling down, touching my face. And I'm like, how? There's a roof above me. How is that possible? And I reach out and I touch the roof, and it's like there's like mesh, and like the snow is being blown under the fly of the tent. It's like being blown under and being pushed into the tent. So I'm being snowed on in my bed, And I start getting really worried, you know. I'm like, I can't sleep and get snowed on, you know, like that's not gonna work. That's gonna make me sick, you know. I'm gonna be in really bad shape when I wake up if I do that. And so I I I unbundle myself and I'm thinking, what can I do? Like, what can I do? I gotta get up. I gotta tell someone. I gotta tell the other two who are in this tent, like, what's going on, you know? And I go to open the tent flap. I'm about to open the tent flap. And the two who were also in there, the two who also stayed in the tent, Eduardo and Elias were their character names. Both of them playing Ajanti, which are like, you know, like Eastern European traveling folk, basically. You know, says, I exit the tent and I run smack dab basically into Elias, and he goes, Tawney, do you want to maybe move our things to the inside tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm like all like, it's cold and I'm sad and upset and I'm cold. And he's like, okay. And we grab all our stuff, you know, and I pack up my cot and I pack up my sleeping bag and put them over my shoulder, and we go over to this one house that had been opened, because like there are a lot of buildings on site, but they're all privately owned by like people from the SCA, which is like the people who usually use the site. They're like the, you know, more like realistic medieval fight replicator guys. I don't know exactly what SCA stands for, but the SCA owns the site. And the buildings are privately owned, so we couldn't get into a lot of them. But there was one guy who had opened up his house to us. And he was at the door, and he's like, yeah, come in. We're gonna get as many people in here as we can while we're walking through this blizzard with our gear and the tents like in the distance in the background, like forgotten. We can't sleep there. And we make our way to this house. Do I have a picture of like any of the buildings? I don't know if I do. Maybe not on purpose. Oh, okay. So this, see that building in the background? See that building in that building in the background there? Like that one? It's building like that, basically. But it was like 2 stories and a little bit fatter. And we get inside and we put our things down and we set up all of our stuff, you know. And it's warm, and he's got a propane heater going, and inside it's nice and like lit, all sort of like candlelight sort of feeling to it, you know. And it's like a wood building, and the guy's like a leather crafter, and you know, had like a table of like belts and so forth and stuff, just like in the corner that wasn't really part of anything, but we got to sleep in this warm building. He had hot apple cider and hot chocolate just there, like, we come in from the cold, we've got all our gear, and we're all fucking freezing. And he goes, hot chocolate, apple cider, here, I'll boil up some water. Pour some water, like, hands us hot chocolate and apple cider. Oh, it was the best. It was like real relief, you know? Because it would have been a dangerous situation, like, in real life, to sleep in that cold, you know? It was like, aside from my character being happy and stuff that we had a warm place to sleep, you know, I was happy, like, out of character, that we had a warm place to sleep. But yeah, so we came in and he offered us all his stuff, and we got all bedded down. I could tell Elias and Eduardo were happy to not be sleeping in the cold because they were just trolling each other basically until we went to sleep. You know, just poking each other like real brothers, you know, and being assholes to each other in the corner, basically. And I was happy as a clam because in character, Tawney likes nothing more than warm blankets and nice places to sleep. That's really all she asks of life. That and snacks, which we had also. So we all bedded down, and when I woke up in the morning, there were like people everywhere in here, like sleeping on the ground, like on little mats and stuff, and like everywhere, like every floor space was basically yeah, you know, it was basically good, like covered with people that came in from the cold, and this guy like let us all into his private building, you know. It was awesome. And yeah, for the most part, we stayed in character. I mean, I personally dropped character for a bit to just go like, thank you, guy. You know? Thank you for letting us use your building. Like, so much from the bottom of my heart. Like, out of character, you know? Thank you. This is the out of character thing. When you're out of character, you put your hand on your head and you talk out of character. But yeah. So I wake up in the morning and there's people everywhere, like all over the floor, like wrapped up in their sleeping bags and stuff and so forth. You know, they've just been let in. And the guy comes down the stairs in the morning while everybody's waking up and he goes like, anybody hungry? I got Cliff Bars. I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. And he's like dropping them from the second story balcony, basically like down onto people, like, oh, one throws one, person catches it, throws one, catches it. So I stand up and I go over to where the stairs are, because I've been getting ready a little longer than some of the people who are still like getting up and stuff, and Eduardo and Elias are still sort of like trying to roll out of bed. And I hop up and he drops one of these Cliff Bars down to one of the guys who's like still lying down near my feet. And the guy reaches his hands up to catch it, and I just stick my hand out and catch it, and like, whoop, and it's mine, you know? And then the guy below me's like, aw, and then he goes, don't worry, I'll give you another, drops another one, and I stick my hand out and catch it. I've got like two in my hand, because like, Tawney, please, and I'm like, Elias needs one, and I like throw one to Elias. And I take the other one and I go sit down. I didn't get one for Eduardo because he was like still sleeping. But I like stole two that were supposed to be for this guy. Like dropped directly down from the ceiling. It was just like this very warm scene. It was just this like very warm, like happy scene. Like we were all so relieved to be out of the cold. You know? We were all so relieved we had a place to sleep. To weather the storm, and it felt real because the some of the feelings were real, you know, like real feelings of relief. Yeah, I don't know, it was super cool. I hope you guys sort of enjoyed that little bit of a story there.